You have a 22-mile strip that for many, many years, Turkey, in all fairness, they've had a legitimate problem with it. They had terrorists. They had a lot of people in there that they couldn't have. They've suffered a lot of loss of lives also. And they had to have it cleaned out.
They had to have it cleaned out. That is how Donald Trump describes Turkey's actions in northern Syria, which many believe to be an attempt at ethnically cleansing the region. Joining us now is someone who knows a lot about this issue and can help put it into perspective. Nicholas Kristof, a Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist for the New York Times, who's written extensively about the Middle East. So this terminology, cleaned out, is that something he potentially heard from President Erdogan and just repeated?
He's repeating a Turkish talking point, and I just find it infuriating to hear that clip, that we not only betray the Kurds, but then badmouth them in the process. I mean, the Kurds in 2014, when the Yazidis were facing a genocide, it was the Kurds who helped save their lives and avert that genocide. And now they're being betrayed into something like that ethnic cleansing. The Kurds were championing women's empowerment, and then one woman politician, age 34, gets pulled out of her car and beaten and shot to death by these invaders that we helped unleash on them.
Could you say the Kurds were the most Western ally in that region for us, the ally that lived up to the more secular ideal of democracy, more so than anybody else, at least? It's all relative, obviously.
Look, this was it was imperfect, but they genuinely tried to create a entity that was democratic, that protected minority rights like those of the Yazidi, like those of the minority Christian community, that empowered women. And they trusted. And they saved American lives when they worked with us. They trusted us. We told them that they could take out their defenses to the north because we had their backs. And then we walked out and left them to be attacked.
It's not just abandoning our ally or betraying our ally. We're leaving a vacuum there. And who's going to fill that vacuum? Who wins?
So, often in foreign policy, there's a tension between our values and our interests.
Yeah.
In this case, not only have we betrayed our values, but we've damaged our own interests. The beneficiaries here are, the Syrian government, Iran, Russia. I mean, with Trump, so many roads lead to Russia, of course. But we have empowered all the people who we should be attempting to limit in that region. And we've done it we've done it in the course of damaging our own credibility, the trust that people have for us. From Russia to Hezbollah to Syria, people are cackling about this teaches anybody not to trust Americans anymore.
How much stock do you put in the ceasefire?
Well, I mean, look, Turkey, if they can get what they want without fighting, then of course it's great for them. So they've called on the U.S. is incredibly committed to helping remove the Kurds from this safety zone. A former UN diplomat told me that this is a little like the 1938 Munich agreement, except that even Neville Chamberlain didn't agree to move out the Czechs from Sudetenland. And that's what the U.S. has agreed to do, to help not only let Turkey march in and get this safe zone, but help remove the Kurds from this area.
When it comes to polling on the president's strategy in northern Syria, the majority of people in the poll don't support it. 48% don't support, 31% do. Does that matter?
No. Look, at the end of the day...
To Trump, I should say.
Well, it may matter to Trump, but I just find this so deeply offensive that we have people who trusted us and then we betrayed them so publicly, and people who were trying to do some of the things that we say we care about, and example this sets to the world. And look, we have this grand rhetoric, and everybody knows we don't fully live up to it and we fall short, but they've always thought that there was at least something to these American ideals that we talked about. And now we are just shown to be so morally bankrupt before the world in the course of betraying our friends and empowering our rivals and enemies. This is just a colossal mistake at every possible level.
Nicholas Kristof, thank you so much for joining us on this Friday night.
Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on the button below for more from The Last Word and the rest of MSNBC.